Hello once again, this is Eric Burcham with ApexCCTV. Welcome back to our video tutorial series on port forwarding for surveillance. I got a quick one for you guys today. This is just a little update on how to make sure that you're using a valid internal IP address for your DVR or IP camera. Basically the goal here is we want to avoid conflicts with other devices. So at least three things to consider. First one is the DHCP range. I think my last video showed you guys how to find the DHCP range, but once again, you're going to log into your router. In our router, or actually into your customer's router more likely. In ours, it's under a LAN setup. Again, you guys can go to portforward.com to find guides to do this on just about any router you can imagine. LAN setup, so here I see that our DHCP range on this subnet is 192.168.1.100 through 192.168.1.254. So if I had DHCP turned on, that means that the router can hand out any IP address from 100 to 254, and we want to avoid those. So that means anything under 100 ought to be just fine, with a few exceptions. First things first, you always want to ping an IP address you want to use, and make sure that there's nothing else already statically configured with that IP address. Definitely don't ever want to use this one, 192.168.1.1. That will almost always be a router or gateway at some point in your network's future if it's not already. Very, very likely that somebody will use that for something. Another thing you can always do is just go ahead and ask your network administrator. It's never a bad idea to stay on that guy's good side. Certainly, your customer is very likely to have someone contracted out, so if you can get a hold of their phone number, give them a buzz. See if there's anything specific to be aware of. Another place to look is under port forwarding and port triggering. And again, this could be called any number of things. I've seen it applications in gaming, port forwarding, port triggering, port mapping, network address translation. They all mean essentially the same thing. Or at least the router manufacturers seem to think they do. So I'm just checking the port forwarding table here in the router. If there were anything already configured to go to a specific IP address, which would be listed under this column, I would know I don't want to use that one because I'm going to get traffic problems. Okay, so we've done that. I'm going to go ahead and pick 192.168.1. We'll call it 80 for my IP address. Let's just ping it and see if it's empty. It looks like it should be just fine to do that. Of course, I could try another round number. 50, that's taken. 60, that's taken. Anytime you see a reply from, that means there's already a device there. So you want to find, preferably something you can remember. So I like to use round numbers, multiples of 10 or 5 if possible, and just pick one and go with that. So at this point, I feel pretty safe. I've checked the router's DHCP range. I've checked existing port forwards. I've pinged it in hopes of having a reasonably good idea that it's empty. And I've asked my network administrator just to be on the safe side. So when I configure my DVR, I'll go ahead and use 192.168.1.80. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Please check us out on the web at www.apexcctv.com. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.